All right, what's good, homies? What's good? What's good? We in the building, man. We should be holding it down. Should be doing our thing. Let me see if we can go up in the joint. Hmm. Let's give people a few minutes to get up in the joint, man. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me loud and clear. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me loud and clear, man. I see the homies in the joint. Got the homie MPI in the joint. Spiritual OG in the joint. MPI, welcome to the kingdom. Big Mario, appreciate the $5 super chat, homie. Salute to you, BOA. Always great content. Keep dropping that heat. Knowledge is power for sure, bro. Appreciate it. D Flams, salute to you, my brother. Salute, famo. Appreciate you being in the joint. GC, salute to you, bro. Good to see you in the joint, man. Quay Anthony, welcome to the elevation, man. Welcome to the kingdom of Ray, brother. Appreciate you joining. Appreciate you moving into the kingdom with us, bro. Look at that, man. I already got 2 dislikes, man. I know who it is. I know who it is, man. And one of these dudes ought to be ashamed of himself, man. He should really be ashamed of himself, man. Just it's one thing for somebody random to do it, man, but it's another thing for a dude to come put a dislike on my joint every time I come on, man. On both channels, he just come through and dislike every show. But we'll talk about him on number 10 on this list, man. So appreciate everybody being in the joint, man. Let's give him a few minutes. Give him a few minutes. Back up in the joint. Quay, what's good? All right, let's get ready, man. I'm sitting here listening to the joint in my ear, man. Let me cut it off. I didn't got caught up listening to the show, man. Said just need to check the audio right quick. AJ Shaka TV, appreciate $10 super chat, man. How do I become a member of this page? Uh, One of the moderators will put the information in there for you, man. Just hold your horses. Appreciate the super chat, bro. Got a great show in the kingdom lined up today, man. Great show in the kingdom. And yes, I do keep notes for all of my shows because my topics are deep and they have substance and they are in order. So yes, I do have notes. Matter of fact, I'm uh I'm looking into, man. I'm pricing a not a green screen, but a teleprompter. You know what I'm saying, man? I'm gonna go ahead and start, man, using the teleprompter. Cause I ain't just coming on here talking. Shooting the breeze. B Ross, appreciate the $5 super chat. Salute to you, King Ray Ray. Salute to you, bro. Let's get the people just a few more minutes to get in here. I know we're a little early today, man. We normally don't get in here this early, but we in here. It's the Kingdom Array. DJ B2X, salute to you, man. Appreciate $2 super chat. Yeah, it's been a minute, man. Been a minute. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. So, the reality of the scenario is this, fellas. When it's time for you to move on in life and move to the next level of life, you got to be ready to do that. You understand what I'm saying? You got to be ready to do that. All games aside, no time to play. You got to be ready to do it. And many men stay where they are because they aren't willing to make that move. ISO Navoso, appreciate the $5 super chat, bro. Salute BOA, drop the knowledge. Salute to you, man. You have to know when it's time to kick your old self to the curb. Now, when I say old self, I say that because that's language that we can identify with, but it's not really your old self. It's the current version of yourself. At some point, you have to understand the current version of yourself is only current right now. Next year, if you're the way you are right now, you'll be old news. You can't afford to stay the same and be this way next year. You have to grow from year to year because the world is changing from year to year. And in order for you to keep up with the changes of the world, you're going to have to grow year to year. You can't let life leave you behind. Then you end up being the old dude mentally. And when you're the old dude mentally, you know what happens? After you're the old dude mentally, then you die next. And that's real. You have to get away from having that loyalty to your old life. Your old life is absolutely no good for you. Your old life, your old ways, your old friends, your old girlfriends, your old stomping grounds, your old knowledge base. Anything in your life you can look at it and call my old and you still got it, then you've let your old play the role as your new, but it's not as effective as something new. Growth is necessary, and you can't grow if your loyalty lies to your old life, ties to your old pleasures and disruptive devices. If you look back on your life and you think of some things that you regret, some mistakes you made, not even mistakes or bad decisions you made, if you made any of those decisions under the influence of alcohol, you should never drink alcohol again. Certainly not enough to get inebriated, and surely not drunk. If you've been in prison for something, why would you come out and do the same thing? You should have just stayed in prison the first time. If you've been having unprotected intimacy and been finding yourself at the clinic, okay, keep on. You're going to get something you can't get rid of. Clinic ain't going to be able to help you next time. Ties to your old pleasures and disruptive vices are what are keeping you from growing. Ties to your old job. I just don't understand the logic of staying at one job for 20 years. Those times are gone. Those times are gone where you can stay at one job and can stay there for 20 years. Everything gonna be good. Most jobs that you at ain't gonna make it 20 years, or you're gonna get laid off before you get there. If you're not in the military or some law enforcement field or something like that, man, then you can't bank on that. I wouldn't. See, all this boils down to acceptance of mediocrity in your life. When you accept mediocrity in any facet of life, you accept mediocrity in all facets of life. If the women you deal with are mediocre, then your friends are mediocre. Then your job is mediocre. Then your health is mediocre. Then your family relationships are mediocre. Or your relationship with God is probably just downright bad. One of the greatest forms of acceptance of mediocrity is letting someone live vicariously through you. Letting your parents, or your grandparents, or your uncles, or your aunts, or your cousins, or your coach, or your teacher, or a stranger on the street live vicariously through you. Man, I'm not available for anybody to live vicariously through me. I live vicariously through myself. I live in my reality and I live vicariously through myself. There's no room for anybody to live out their dreams through me. Acceptance of mediocrity is the greatest sin that you can commit against yourself. Because that means you will never strive for anything better because you don't have to work to be mediocre. You can wake up mediocre. You have to put in no work to be mediocre. You can wake up and play Madden all day and be mediocre. You can go to the casino and lose all your money at the casino and be mediocre. You can have a different job every month and be getting fired from it. That's mediocre. You can be DUI and tap every car you ever had. That's mediocre. You can not have no friends because you keep trying to sleep with their wives and their old ladies and girlfriends. That's mediocre. You can be a liar. People don't trust you with nothing. Don't even trust you to be around. That's mediocre. You can be addicted to cigarettes. That's mediocre. You can be addicted to alcohol. That's mediocre. You can be addicted to psychotropics. That's mediocre. It doesn't take much to be mediocre. So acceptance of mediocre is pretty much telling yourself, looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, you know what, you ain't nothing, you ain't gonna never be nothing, and I'm cool with that. You ain't got to be nothing. And who really, which of us really wants to tell ourselves that? Which of us really wants to live that life? See, the problem is too many men, too many people are running with the crowd instead of walking with God. Running with the crowd instead of walking with God. Now, what happens when you walk with God as opposed to running with the crowd? Many people run with the crowd because the crowd moves faster. They may be running in circles. 9 times out of 10, they're running in circles, but they're moving fast. And there's a group of people. So there's a bunch of fun and drinking and eating and being merry and blowing trees and popping pills and doing all kinds of things because the crowd is moving. The crowd is having fun. There's some pretty girls in the crowd. There's a whole bunch of stuff in the crowd that you like, and so you just keep running with the crowd. But when you're walking with God, the process is slower. Much slower process. But it can be a much slower process and still get you from point A to B 1,000 times faster. Why? Because when you walk with God, it's a much slower step, but every step counts. Much slower pace, but every step counts. You're running with the crowd, you could take 10,000 steps to make one move. You walk with God, you take 10 steps, you might move 20 steps. Because if you take the steps, He's going to always reward you with more steps. So you might get a double up out that thing. You might get 20 for 10 instead of 1 for 10,000. But it's slow. It ain't a whole lot of fun, according to what this society considers fun. There ain't a whole lot of people on there with you. Some of your quote unquote favorite people in the world aren't taking that slow walk with you. As a matter of fact, very few people are taking that slow walk with you, if anyone. Because the thing about the slow walk, everyone who's taking the slow walk is taking their own slow walk, enjoying the fruits of the labor of taking the long, slow walk with God. So many fruits to that labor. I'm talking about meaningful fruits to that label, tangible fruits to that label. That walk is the one, boy. But too many people would rather run with the crowd. Running with the crowd will cause you to live beyond your means. So you got two kind of men in this world. You got the men who live beyond their means, and you got the men who live with meaning. When you live with meaning, you never have to live beyond your means, because waking up means something to you. When I wake up, that means something to me. I wake up with joy in my heart. You know why? Because I woke up. That means something to me. You got guys whose days don't start until after they wake up. Like they wake up, go through the motions. Their day don't start until they get in their car on the way to work. You just missed the greatest part of your day. Waking up is the motivation that any man needs to become the best version of himself. That's all you need is waking up. Because you could have died in your sleep. You could have died and never woke up. What more motivation then do you need to go and battle the day and take whatever you want from the day than the fact that you woke up? Real talk, brothers. Man, when I wake up, boy, when I wake up, I literally jump out the bed, man. I'm like, oh, I'm up. It's another day to take that long, slow walk. With God. Another day to take that long, slow walk, man. And it's a wonderful walk to take, man. It's a wonderful journey to be on. Wonderful. See, when you live beyond your means, your life has no meaning except living beyond your means. That's one of the very few things you can wrap your mind around that robs you of your ability to live a life with meaning. Living beyond your means becomes the driving force of your life. And you can never live with meaning because your meaning is tied into stuff. See, the problem is, that's just wrong. It's wrong to live beyond your means. It's wrong to yourself. You're doing yourself wrong. So that indicates you're in the habit of ignoring wrong and admonishing right. You know, we live in a world where people ignore wrong and admonish right. You know the craziest thing to me that I never understood in the hood, man, that I absolutely hated? Somebody go out, kill somebody in cold blood, they walk around with t-shirts talking about free such and such. What you mean free him? He's a cold-blooded murderer. Don't free him. Let him do his time. If you place that type of low value on life, then guess what? You don't deserve to be out here living one. If that's the case, free everybody. Makes no sense. If you're out here taking men's lives senselessly, then you need to sit down somewhere. But too many people ignore wrong and their money's right. As a matter of fact, they swap wrong for right. How many bodies you got? Wonderful. You ain't got no bodies? Oh man, that do you weak, man. You fake. We live in a society where people brag about their wrongdoing. People brag about their wrongdoing and hide their right doing because they don't want you to think they lame. Man, let me tell you something. If doing right is lame, man, I'm super lame. I'm a super lame with super game, baby. And you see it all around us, man. You see it all around us, man. Like, there's this year, there are more Americans who have identified as alternative lifestyle livers than ever in the history of America. There are more men and women perpetuating the most negative images of themselves with a song like WAP. With guys out here getting to millions of dollars, still going to prison, still going to jail, still shooting people. Rich rappers riding around doing drive-bys. Because in this twisted society, that's a badge of honor. Being a rich man in prison is a badge of honor. Being a poor man, or not even a poor man, a man who is just living, but free, with peace of mind, it's considered weak, considered lame, it's considered meek. We live in a society where everyone embraces negativity. Why? Because positivity is a slow grind. Nobody wants to grind slow. Everybody wants their fulfillment right now. Everybody wants their enjoyment right now. Everybody wants their satisfaction right now. Nobody's willing to put in work for anything, man. I've never seen so many youngsters, man, quit so many things before. Now they're okay. I want to do this. The next 2 months they don't want to do it anymore. Okay, now I think I want to do this. Oh, that's hard. The next 3 months they want the easy life. That's the problem with too many people in this society. Everybody wants an easy life, but people don't understand. In order to get the easy life, you got to work hard to get it. The easy life don't just come. You got to work hard to get the easy life. Then the easy life comes. Living the easy life is a blessing, man. And you got to earn it. Do you know the main problem that people stay stuck in the way they are, man, is fear. Fear. Fear of embracing the unknown. People have this fear of the unknown. Your life is a routine. You don't want to break that routine. You understand everything that goes on. You believe in the system of your life. And so what you do, you fear change because you don't know what's on the other side, which I think is the craziest mindset that a man could ever have, because fear of staying the same should drive you. Fear of waking up 5 years from now in the same position, financially, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, and all of those things. To find yourself in the same position in 5 years should be a man's biggest fear. Not trying to hold on to what he got so he won't have to deal with change. That's crazy, man. We shouldn't even be living that life. That shouldn't even be a part of our thinking these days, man. Lemon cayenne, Kavita, drinking it up, top notch. 10 calories, 10 grams of sodium, 10 milligrams of sodium, 3 total carbs, 1 added sugar. We're keeping it clean and lean, baby. We own it. Gold, welcome to the family, brother. Welcome to the family. When you see men who are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s still doing the same thing, And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like I grew up with cats. I don't call them my partners because once I elevated and they stayed the same, we weren't partners no more. See, we can't be partners if I'm elevating and you staying the same. We can't be friends if I'm elevating and you staying the same. Because if you don't understand my level, then you can't be my friend. You're gonna be an enemy or a hater or a detractor. You're gonna be something. But the worst thing you ever seen in your life, man, was a 50-year-old D boy or a 50-year-old. I won't even call him D boy. A 50-year-old D man. You know what I'm saying? A 50-year-old D boy or a 50-year-old banger. Even if that's your history and you claim that history, there's no way you could be 50 and still be active. That's crazy. It makes no sense. Makes absolutely no sense. SJ, salute. Let's see, man. J Lags, appreciate $2 super chat, man. Salute Kingdom of Ray. God first, always. Real talk, bro. Antoine Living, appreciate the $5 super chat. Salute King, always spitting valuable knowledge. Salute to you, bro. I appreciate you being in the joint. Appreciate all the Kingdom brothers being live. Mod Squad in the joint 3 deep. So if you don't fear staying the same, then you live in a fantasy world. If you want to stay the same, you live in a fantasy world. And you would rather embrace that fantasy until you just can't deny that it's not reality. And by that time, you wasted your entire life living in a fantasy. You can create a real life that's like a fantasy. You can create a real life paradise for yourself. I'm going to be honest with y'all, man. My life is a paradise. I'm blessed in every way. My life is a paradise. Do I see palm trees? No, I don't see no palm tree one, man. I don't even see no ocean, no beach. I don't see none of that. But my life is paradise. I'm talking about Stevie Wonder. Make me feel like paradise. All that, man. Take me up and away. Like, this is just the life. You have to embrace your life. Don't look at his life. Don't look at my life. Don't look at their life. Embrace your life. Your path of life is your path. Your paradise is on that path. But what you can't do if you want to get on that path is stay the same. You can't stay the same if you want to be on that path. The problem is many men, and this is a big one, many men don't see the potential in themselves. How can you not see your own potential? Because you shun the child in you. That little boy in you, he is your potential. That little boy in you, he is all the things that you need. That little boy in you, he is the motivation. He is the driving force. He's the dreamer. When you kill the dream is dead. When you kill the dreamer, the dream is dead. So they always talk about mature this, you know, you gotta do this, you gotta get away, you gotta go this way, you gotta do that, you gotta put away this, you gotta do. No, man, you gotta stay in touch with that little boy in you, man. He's the one. He remembers the dream. You don't. You've let life overtake you. You've let the problems of the world, the issues of life, some that you created for yourself, overtake your remembrance of the dream. But you got to stay in touch with that little boy in you because he is the one who holds the dream. That's all he is. That little boy is just the holder of the dream. You got to do all the work, but he's the holder of the dream. In case you lose sight of the dream, you ask him. Hey, young BOA, man, I forgot the dream. Oh, here it is. Want me to keep holding? Yeah, keep holding it for me, little bud. All right, can I get some chips? Yeah, I'm gonna get some chips. You want a drink too? Yeah, Let me get a red Powerade. Okay, you want anything else? No, just some chip. Give me some hot funyuns. Okay, all right. You just keep holding that dream for me. All right? Okay, I'm not gonna let it go. There he is, Mr. Man in Action. Salute, bro. Appreciate the $2 super chat, man. A thumbs up. Salute to you, bro. Brother got a dope channel over there too, man. Y'all check him out. So if that fear of staying the same doesn't drive you, bro, I don't know what to say for you. I fear staying the same. I fear waking up 50, 60, 70 years old, man, and I haven't done anything. I want you to look at your life and be honest with yourself about, are you where you want to be at the age you're at? I'm not talking about by society standards, because you can look at society standards and say, okay, well, I should have this amount of money back. No, I'm talking about the standard you have for yourself, the real standard, the real you. Are you where you want to be? If you are, keep up the good work. If you aren't, get to work. Get to work. First, you must restore yourself to your original version. You're like an old rusty 75 Lincoln Continental right now. You need to do some sandblasting. You need to go in and gut the interior. Might have to put some sheets down in the floor, some sheet metal. Might have to do all that to bring it back. But you sandblast all that rust out there, and you do what you got to do to get that body back right. Every bushing, every screw, I want you to change them all. Every grommet, I want you to change everything on there. Shouldn't hear no squeaking. Your goal is to create a brand new version of the old you. The 75 Lincoln gonna be a 75 Lincoln regardless. If you gut every single piece on it, you know what it's gonna be? A 75 Lincoln frame. It's the same thing with you, man. You got to strip those things away from your life that don't work to move you to the next level. See, let's look at it like this. If you got an old car, if you got a car and it's just tooling around the city, man, smoking up the block and doing all that. Okay, cool. You could drive that thing around the city, depending on what city you in. Because some of these cities, like you in LA, you going to get in some trouble. That thing can't be sputtering and smoking like that. But if you somewhere and you driving around the city just smoking, you just got to drive back and forth to work, cool. If you're going to put that thing on the road from the south to California, you need something else. You're going to have to update it. You're going to have to upgrade it. You're going to have to improve it. You're going to have to make it compatible with your new mission in life. Your goal is to become compatible with your new mission in life. You can't be the same you and embark upon a new mission. Let's say if we're going into a coal mine, or let's say we're going into the Amazon jungle. Okay, we're going to the Amazon jungle. You need certain tools. You need certain equipment. Now, if we about to climb Mount Everest, nothing that you took with you to the Amazon rainforest is going to work. Nothing that you use in the jungles of the Amazon is going to work if you're climbing Mount St. Everest. You need new tools. You come down from there, you're going to take a trek through the desert. Guess what? None of the tools you used in that mountain are going to help you in the desert. You got to get new tools again. You got to start over again. You got to constantly recreate yourself for the new level in life. And many men get caught up in recreating themselves with stuff. Cars, clothes, jewelry, and all the other nonsense that don't mean nothing after you buy it. Guns and butter. See, when you don't see the potential in yourself, it's most likely because those around you don't see their own potential, or they don't even have any. And then we go all the way back to loyalty to your old life. You're never loyal to your old life. You're loyal to the people, places, and things of your old life. Nobody who has improved their life wants to go back to their old life. Ever. You never miss your old life when you were in a worse situation, when you were broker, when you probably were unhealthier, when you were, in an environment where you couldn't even have peace of mind. Nobody wants to go back to not having peace of mind. What does? And so we have to stop acting like we do. See, the problem is about around you as your strengths. When you look at your differences and you call them weaknesses, let's say everybody around you is gangster and you not. That's not a weakness. Whenever you're different, that's a strength. Wherever you're different, that's a strength. You can't stand out in the crowd if you're the same as everybody else. If you're the same as everybody else. So your differences are your strengths. And we don't have any weaknesses. You don't have any weaknesses. You know how stupid it is to compare the things that you're normal at to your strengths and then label those things weaknesses because there's not as strong as your strengths. How much sense does that make? That causes you to focus on your weaknesses instead of building your strength to a point where no one can touch it. All you need is one strength. You only need one strength. You don't need to be just overall strong in every single facet of life. That's stupid. This ain't the Olympics, man. This ain't the decathlon. You ain't Dan and Dave, man. Who you supposed to be? Bruce Jenner or somebody, bro? You only need one strength. Build that strength. Make it the strongest that anybody has ever seen. That strength is your key. Even if there are things you might be pretty good at. Allen Iverson was a hell of a football player. Never saw him play a down of football in college. Never saw him play a down of football in college. The reality of the scenario is this, man. Your strength is your strength. That's your head start on it. What you look at your head start and say, okay, I'm gonna leave that over there and let everybody try to catch up to it. I'm gonna go work on these things over here and try to catch up to them. The problem is too much focus on other folks. This is my lane right here. If you focus on everybody else's lane before you know it, man, you're gonna realize, man, that your lane got cracks in the concrete, potholes, you're gonna bend your rim. Sometimes you can't even make it around, man. Because you haven't been maintaining your own road, your own path. You got to stop living every day like you can predict the time of your demise. You don't know when you're going to be gone. You ain't got no time to be saying, okay, well, I'm going to do this next year. You ain't got no time to, okay, well, I'm going to start this next month. Crazy thing in the world when people say, it's, you know how people do, man, right before the holiday, right after the holidays. Um, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all that time, people eat all that crazy food. People always say, I'm going to start at the first of the year. Okay, well, what if you die? What if you ain't got that much time? What if the changes you need to make need to take place right now? It's going to be too late in January. People don't want to do the thing that they want to do because they want to do it. They want to do it because of society, or they want to do it because of a specific result that they're going to get. You got to find that thing that you do and you feel and you strive for just because. Guys always ask me, man, how do I find my passion? What's that thing that you'll do for free? What's that thing you can't imagine yourself doing? What's that thing you've been doing as long as you can remember and don't never see yourself stopping? You got to live every day, man, like it's your last, because one of these days you're going to be right. If you live every day like it's your last, one day you're going to be correct. And you ain't going to be here the next day. You never know when that day is. So you better live every day striving to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. Because that's the only way to get closer to it. We live in a participation trophy society, man, where everybody's a champion, everybody's a winner, when we know that's not true. It's never been true. And the greatest travesty of all, is paying attention to haters, detractors, and negative naysayers. Because here's the thing, you only have time to interact with people, principles, precepts, and concepts that benefit your growth. Anyone or anything that doesn't benefit your growth has to be ignored simply because you don't have time to waste on it. You don't have time. Listen, man, listen, brothers. You do not have time to waste on someone who's being negative about your process and progress. It doesn't benefit you to focus on them, and you can only do things that benefit your process. Otherwise, you're a self-hater. You hating on yourself. You're your own detractor. You're your own negative naysayer. If you don't capitalize on every moment you can, man, to get to where you're trying to get. Because once you get there, you can rest a bit. Why rest now and not get there when you can rest full time once you get there? Get rid of the version of you that's holding you back from doing what's necessary to receive the blessings that God has for you. And that's real talk. So, man, I ain't gonna hold y'all here too long, man. I just want to come here and drop something off on the King Ray Ray joint, man. You know how we do. Come over here and drop something off about 30, 40 minutes and leave it for the people. I appreciate everybody being in the joint. GC, Flames, SJ. I appreciate y'all brothers being in the joint, man, with the wrench, man. The rest of the crew, man, I appreciate y'all being here. The new members, appreciate it. Super chatters, I appreciate it. Got a nice piece of content coming up on the BOA channel, man. Got an interview where Marvin Gaye said that marriage is miserable and love is miserable, but loving is okay. So it's gonna be a great piece of content, man. Y'all know I'm gonna take a deep dive on it. Appreciate everybody being in the joint, man. We'll bounce back, man, and hit another Ray Ray joint tomorrow, man. You know what I'm saying? We'll wind out the week, man, with a couple of Ray Ray joints. So y'all be looking for that, man. We'll be back on this joint again tomorrow. I appreciate everybody being in the joint, man. I appreciate all the support, man, on both channels, on all platforms, man. Much appreciated, man. I'm humbled by it. And, I wish all you brothers the best, man. Y'all put God first. Keep grinding and growing, my brother.